Now, the rest of the story.
All right, welcome back. I guess I can sit and talk a little bit while I'm waiting for Ryan. I'm doing a really good job as far as keeping up with him. As far as running 500 bushels or so up and down the highway, they haven't gotten ahead of me yet, and this is the second day of hauling from my place. The farm is, well, I think we're coming up on about halfway down to this place. The bin it's getting really close to being full. Another hour or two, and I'm planning on stuffing it fairly full, but I still got to keep it low enough the stirrators can run properly. The corn is coming out at 19 to 20%. A lot of the stuff we were pulling out last night, all day yesterday, was about 21. The stuff that we're dumping in on top of that wetter stuff is coming in about 19.5, 19.4. I'd rather have the wet stuff on the bottom. It is going to be stirred, but we're going to be starting the fan tonight, the heater tonight. So drying it from around 20% down to 15 is a lot easier and a little faster than trying to dry it from 25 to 27, which is what that first stuff was. Because they're calling for snow, there's obviously a bit of haste in everyone in the area right now. There's, well, from where I'm sitting, I can see 2 combines, a tractor and a rake, and a tractor and round baler. So they're calling for a foot of snow. Whether or not we get it, I'm hoping that they're going to be dialing it back here. They're calling for 1 inch to 3 inches tomorrow, which we can go without. And the same thing Thursday. Thursday, they're calling for it to basically snow like 12, 16 hours. It's far enough away yet. I'm trying to be optimistic. The positive thing we can really say is that we don't have any soybeans. From where I'm sitting right now, I can see that whole hillside is covered in beans. I'm glad that's not us. And we can really owe that in part to the fact that we cut down 100 acres of soybeans this year. There was no incentive to raise beans at all. I mean, even as far as that government help me out payment, that MFP payment, it was a set rate across all of your acres. So there was no incentive to raise corn or just beans. To be honest, there was a stronger demand push to put corn in this year. I mean, there's a lot of people screaming, and darn them for saying it, but a lot of people saying we're going to see $5 futures, and I was very level-headed about that. I've been burned not last year, but a couple years, last couple to 3 or 4 years before last year, where I was getting burned on the markets, being optimistic, just trying to hit the top, and that burns you 99% of the time. And this year, for myself, I did really good up to the last 6,000 bushels that I really should have sold, and the way things are looking, I should have sold significantly more than 6,000 bushels, but I'm only willing to sell up to my insurance guarantee, just in case the crop isn't here, or weather event. I'm really hoping this snow isn't going to be a weather event, but the corn is here, at least in southwest Wisconsin, at least for us. We manage all of our crops pretty high, actually. We're watching everything as far as nitrogen application, splitting it up as opposed to just dumping it all up front, to seed, fertilizer placement, making sure the right hybrids, maturities, and all that stuff are planted on the right farms, and soil health, and I'm not going to list off everything just because I want to keep this a short video. So harvest is at least progressing. Because the snow they're calling for, the plan is to fill up that Sioux bin tonight. We're going to dump probably 3 or 4 feet into that Sioux cup. That is a storage bin, but it does have a blower and a heater, the same blower and heater that the Sioux has on it. It just doesn't have the stirrator, so it's not able to mix that corn that's in there. So by using the spreader on top, we're planning on putting about 3 or 4 feet in there, which should probably be about, what, 3,000 bushels. I mean, we're not going to get carried away because we don't want to risk not being able to get it dried down and having to pull it back out and run it back into the Sioux. Because the plan is to dry down what we can in the Sioux Cup and then set the auger up with the gravity wagon up to that Sioux bin and then just transfer it farmer style out of the Sioux into the Sioux Cup. And we just got to run one auger, you know, the unloading auger, but then just the Mayruth. So the plan is to fill up both bins as full as we possibly can. And currently I'm in the thought process of forget trying to dry down anymore on the farm just because it's so late. My original plan was if we could have started the first week of October, we were going to try to dry down everything after our first initial bin, because the plan was still to fill that Sioux Cup and get that filled up so we know we have our contracts for next year, at least part of them, for next year, because I've already committed to X amount of bushels, and dry down everything for the last 3 weeks that we thought we would have been harvesting, and get those dried down ourselves and take it down to the river. Change of plan, the dreaded P word. It's basically the 1st November. This is technically our 3rd day of actual corn harvest, and we got lucky as far as getting the beans out. I really would not want to try to combine soybeans with snow on them. I'm really dreading the idea of combining corn with snow on them again. But currently, the stuff that I'm hauling in right now is running 19%. The elevator will take it. I mean, it'll take it up wetter than that. They'll dock you down to 15%. I'll take the hit. At this point, it's a time issue. We don't know how much longer Mother Nature is going to work with us. So I would just like to see the stuff gone. And it's, for the prices we locked in, we're sitting really good. For the yields that we're seeing on the marginal ground, I mean, this is the marginal place, and this place is performing very well. Andrew almost broke his hand patting himself in the back, because Andrew is a big help, a big reason as far as making sure our yields are improving like they are. I mean, I know I'm a farmer, but I can't know everything. I try, but I don't. Andrew's a big help because with the chemicals and the fertilizer rates and the soil health and the seed varieties, he helps us out on that, and it's shown that he's pretty much invaluable to the farm. So really don't want to see Andrew go anywhere anytime soon. On a quick note, the cattle. Are we going to let the cattle out in the field? Absolutely. We got about the third of my farm, because this place is cut into thirds, the front, the back, and the 40. The 40 is done. Ryan is here. And the plan is to let all of my dad's cows, I got to run around the fence, make sure everything's okay, and let the cows out in the field, let them find any corn that got knocked out, didn't make it into the combine, eat any of the leaves, go through and eat all that nice, lush, green grass in the waterways, and hold off having to feed them any hay as long as possible. The way it's looking, it could be a long, nasty winter again, and the plan is, I shudder saying the P word, the stuff that we're combining right now, it's up front because I have the cows locked out of this part of the farm. I want to make about 100 bales of corn fodder down here yet, and then once I get that done, I'm going to get them moved in around the buildings, and then I'm planning on letting the cows, that dreaded P word, letting the cows into the whole farm and let them eat every little stitch of blade of grass that they can, find all the corn that they can. I am still planning on trying to do tillage, but I'm just being realistic at the moment, and I'll be glad just to get the crops off as of right now. Last year it was almost the end of November before we started any tillage, but we also didn't hardly get anything done either. Am I going to be buying cattle? I am planning on buying at least 2 as of right now. I haven't talked to the individual about buying some heifers off of his herd, but I'm looking forward to maybe possibly doing that. I am going to be moving them up to the home farm. The home farm's been sitting empty this whole year. I don't like it. Mom doesn't like it. Dad doesn't like it. Ryan probably doesn't really care either way. But my plan is to get about 10 cows, a herd of 10 cows, cow-calf pairs, eventually get them raised up to that point, and then just probably regulate at 10 for the time being, because I know what I can hold in that lot up there. And then my thought process, my plan is, I'm not a big financial guru by any stretch of the term, but I gotta go. Sorry. We'll catch up with that in another video. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch.